Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Island Church Weekly Podcast. Thanks for joining us. It's a new year. First episode back. Pastor Will, how you doing?
Doing quite well, Matt. And it's a beautiful day, warm day. I think it's actually been in the 70s today, mid 70s. And
Yeah.
I actually saw a doctor this morning. You know, my mom used to ask me every time I go to the doctor, she'd say, "Is everything okay?" I said, "Well, it's okay till I get to the doctor. I don't know."
That's it, right?
And
That's why all the
I
stuff's
said,
wrong
I
with
don't
you.
have. So everything is good there. But last week in our service, we talked
Yeah.
about kind of a spiritual checkup and a spiritual year, starting something new, and kind of assessing kind of where we are in our walk with Christ, in our service of Him. And we're going to be in a little series on this a little bit for the next several weeks, entitled "Faith Forward."
Yeah.
So my doctor said I'm okay. I want to make sure there's
Yeah.
okay things between me and God, and
Yeah.
I hope each one of our people are going through that same kind of a thing. But you've had a little under the weather, so
Right on time. Yeah. It's been a little bit of a rough start to the new year in our house. We got the flu going around, and so I'm in recovery mode, but it's a slow recovery. So yeah, we're soldiering through today. As you said before, it's going to be the best I can do, which sometimes it's not that great to start with. So it's as good as we're going to get today. So Pastor Will, how was Sunday at Island Church? Give us a little bit of recap of Sunday.
It was good. It was really good to see some of our people that winter with us for several months or several weeks, to see them back and get to see those faces and get reunited. And so glad that they're back with us. Made for a good full house and together collectively worshiping the Lord. And so it was a good day, and a lot of affirmations on the music, a lot of affirmations on the message. And I really hope that really translates into people's just encouragement in their faith forward. That's really what we're trying to do, which is a series, Faith Forward. So it was good. It was a good Sunday. We had some additional guests that were from the island permanently, and so that's a good thing. There's good things happening. So it was a good cool Sunday.
Great Sunday to kick off the new year. Yeah, absolutely. Well, what's coming up that folks need to know about in the life of the church? What are the big news statements?
Well, we've got restarting our life groups. Thursdays, the Rileys are doing at their home, dealing with the book of Genesis, walking through that. We're looking at possibly starting an additional group or two. So that's one thing. So our normal men's is happening. Our normal women's group, Sandy got started back with the women's group. We were downstairs meeting. The women were upstairs. And for the ladies that are unable to make it or have not made it to that particular group, we were all the way down in my office trying to have a meeting, and casual, just the guys. We could hardly carry on our meeting for part of the women's getting together because they were so loud and laughter. Sandy does a remarkable job in preparation, both on the personal level and then for the group settings as well. And so there's just a lot of ministry taking place. That's a really great thing. So our groups, our men or women's getting started, our life groups getting started. Part of what we do, Matt, with our membership, as our people know, is commit once again, a new year to kind of live out the heart attitudes. We don't expect people to do this perfectly, but it provides a kind of a framework for us, actually, in all of our relationships, where we don't just look to our interests, but also the interests of others, where we give and receive spiritual correction, where we participate in the ministry of the church, where we support the work of the church financially, these kind of commitments. And it's just a time which often happens in January. It's a time of renewal and recommitment to certain kind of disciplines, and it's a recommitment of faith. And so January is kind of membership month. So whether you're renewing your commitment to membership, or you're a new member or would like to be a new member, I'd love to just have a conversation with you. That's kind of the process on that. And then maybe you're a person that is down with us a few months a year, 2 months a year, 3 months a year, and you would like to become an associate member of our church. That's actually a category. That's awesome. You stay connected to your church back at home, at your primary home, until you actually make Tierra Verde your primary home, right?
Yep.
No, which may or may not happen, but
maybe.
That's right. But a lot of people that happens to. But anyway, you can become an associate member. And so you can check that on the card, and we'd love to have a conversation with you. So that's kind of what's going on. And of course, we're making progress, Matt, on our bridge. We're getting close on the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing plans, making progress on every bit of that, just tweaking some stuff out to make it even better. The design is basically the same, but you got to put in the stuff behind the designs, right? But where you're going to put your air conditioners, how that's going to flow, where's the heat going to go, all those kinds of things. But that's really progress. We want to thank our people for their faithful giving in this area, and it's really coming together in terms of the project. And some of you may have been delayed to wait, or you may be considering it. in some way doing that, we'd love to have a conversation if you'd like to personally about that. If you made a commitment towards that, we'd love to see you continue down that path. We really like where we are on that. So that's kind of
Good
what's
stuff.
upcoming.
Awesome. Very cool. Give us some concrete steps. Like what's the next step that you would push some folks to this week? Just in closing, we ask sometimes, hey, how would you be praying for the church? Are there any next steps that you're like, hey, new year, people are looking at reevaluating kind of like where they're in their walk with God? Are there any next steps that you'd really want to emphasize to our people of, hey, consider this?
Well, I think we just talked about the importance of membership, and it's not just the membership, but it's the idea that we have a mutual commitment, that we're in this together. It really helps me and Sandy and our entire team, Chris Riley, our admin team, to know kind of who's with us. If you're still just looking, that's one thing. If you're really a part of us, then forge on in. Let's go. Let's don't just date. Let's get married, right? And let's move forward. But we're in the process of looking for some additional people that are going to help us with children's ministry, either teaching or an assistant. If you can do this once a month, once every 6 weeks, we'd love to have a conversation. Check with Sandy on that. One of the things we're trying to do, Matt, is to not wait just on the building, but we would like to start, even in February, we would like to start a Wednesday night children's program, probably for like elementary age kids. We want to get that started. So we're going to need to get the word out. We're going to need a couple of families, 2 or 3 families to kind of build off of there. And so if you have some type of interest and say, look, I just put me in a role, or let's find a role for me. How can I help? Maybe it's just communicating with neighbors. Maybe, Matt, what they can do, you ask about what they do specifically. Maybe it's driving down a neighborhood area on the island or on the surrounding areas and just pray.
Yeah.
When you see small basketball goals, you know there's children there, right? When you see toys in the yard, there's children or there's grandchildren that are there.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things they can do is our people can actually begin to notice the people around them and be able to extend an invitation to them to either to a Sunday service, or we get this thing going, hopefully on Wednesday nights in February, our children's program. They'll have a relationship such that they can invite them to them. So we talk about prayer walking. You can walk down a street, but you can also, you say, well, I'm not so good on my walking anymore. Well, then just drive down the street, drive slowly or stop or pause and pray over the homes and pray God's blessings over the homes and pray for God to move in the people's lives. And so we're going to do that. And then one final thing, maybe if you have an interest really in us impacting our community and you say, look, I'd like to do something. Maybe you're just a part of an outreach team. We're talking about outreaching to our community. This will involve some of the things that you do, Matt. Obviously, you help us stay communication with our community. But in terms of personal touch, or you may be on a group that thinks about, puts their minds together, brainstorming. I said group thing. Brainstorming about what we can do to reach our community. Actually, we're going to have Gary Smith with us at the end of the month. Gary's just masterful at this, and I have a pretty good eye myself, but I've been around a while. I need some fresh eyes, and so Gary's going to come in, and so we're going to be looking at this. Maybe you say, look, let me be a part of this, or let me at least consider being a part of this. So if you have an interest in us reaching out to our community, let me know, and we'll figure out how that works for you.
So some great, clear next steps of ways that folks can engage with the church, take their next steps, and to really be an all-in to helping the church do exactly what we've been talking about, the building campaign, right? Which is like, we're trying to make a connection to the island, bridge to the future of the island, and bridge people to God. So lots of great next steps they can take. Pastor Will, thanks so much for sharing today. And it sounds like in a few weeks, I'll be back there on the island for maybe a Sunday morning. So excited to see folks in person, and TBD on exactly when, but looks like that's coming soon. So excited to see everyone in person. Have a great week, and thank you all for listening to the Island Church Weekly Podcast.